It's nighttime where you're at. We're in the same city.
Yeah, that's how I got my lighting set up. Actually, usually one more is open, one more is on, but anyway, bit of a darker day today here in the office.
Damn shame. Look at you traveling around, being a remote closer.
Yeah, it's a tough life, man.
Someone has to do it. Someone
Apparently,
has to do it.
apparently. Already
Welcome
made
in,
a thousand
guys.
bucks today.
You're up. You're at 1K for the day.
Yeah, just 1K, but it's only lunchtime.
It's only lunchtime. That's the shit I like to hear.
Yeah,
It's only $1,000 day.
yeah.
All good, Marissa. What's up, guys? What's up, Jason? Welcome, bro. I got a nice head of hair on you.
Columbus. I hope you're enjoying Colombia, man.
You know, if I'd complain, who'd listen?
You're in Colombia too, Jason? That's what you said?
No, brother, but I would love to, since I'm Spanish. So I'm
Oh,
aiming for going to the Spanish speaking countries.
Where
So
are you
yeah,
based?
right now I'm in Bucharest, Romania.
Okay, you're out there.
Yeah,
All right, well, welcome in. Good to meet. Guys,
likewise.
I usually these groups are full of like 60, 70% ladies. The gentlemen are out here today, huh, Lindsay? All right, cool. Very cool. What's up, Rogelio? Where are you based?
What's up? From Escondido, California.
Oh, good shit. I used to live in San Diego for years.
Oh, nice.
Ocean Beach, baby. All right. Lindsay, I want to make you host so we can get started. What's up, Annie? Good to meet you. What's up, Deepak? Cesar, good to have you. If y'all are here and you're just like checked out with your camera off, go do some outbound dials or something. Like, fuck off and go make money. I'm sorry, there's ladies here. If you're with your kids, if you're traveling, if you're cooking dinner, I'll give you a pass. I just don't like staring at what could be AI agents, especially we're going to be talking about AI today. Cool. So if you're here, if you're present, camera on. If you're not, if you're like doing something else, like you'll make more money just outbound dialing or self-setting for the next 2 hours. We'll probably run for the next 90 minutes and keep the last 30 for Q&A. Let me know in the chat, guys, because there's some new faces here. If you're closing, if you're setting, or if you're not on an offer yet. I'll do my best to keep this as tailored as I can for each of you. What's up, Lauren? Lauren, you look so cozy on your couch.
The coziest.
What's up, Alfredo? Good setup. Okay, we got some setters. Closing, setter, no offer. Closing. Not on an offer. Yeah, okay. Some newbies. Oh, the newbies. I might blow your guys' minds today. And I'm not trying to scare y'all away. Just trying to be honest. It's kind of my whole personality. I'm a little bit too direct for my own good. Cool. Bunch of closers, bunch of newbies. What's up, Rachel? Good to have you again. Okay, great. And then let me know your niche, please. What are you selling? If you're selling, what are you selling? That way we're not role playing or giving examples on something that doesn't pertain to you. Fitness, career. I would imagine there's a lot of fitness. Ooh, sex addiction. Is that what you're selling, dude?
Well, solution for sex addiction. We're not selling
You're
sex
not
addiction.
selling sex addiction? That would be just
Yeah,
80% close rate, baby.
I was, yeah. Just go out to Jarrett's and hand out cards.
Yeah, right. Okay, Amazon FBA, financial education. Sweet. I sold financial coaching, did really well on that type of offer. Voiceover coaching, never heard of that. There's some really cool niches and sobriety. Yes, of course, Marissa. Okay, cool. So you guys, and then what we're gonna do here, I'm actually gonna give away one of my newly made AI agents. Let me just make sure he's live and good to go. Yes, he is. Okay, cool. So let me pull up my screen. I'm going to be asking you guys questions. I will be stopping throughout the initial presentation, and then maybe 20, 30 minutes in, it's going to be more of like an interactive, like I want to see you guys in action so I can best give you guys feedback, support, things you guys can actually implement. Okay. If you guys don't know who I am, which y'all probably should, my name's Andres. I've been in this specific industry for six and a half years. So some of my students call me a sales unk at this point. I've seen the industry change dramatically. I think a lot of people get into this industry thinking you're just going to be talking to webinar leads and talk to laydowns all day, and it's really easy to get an offer. And it's like The last 3 years have completely changed that. It's more competitive than ever because there's more people coming in. The good offers like are harder to find because they are more strict on the caliber of salesperson, and business expenses are going up. Meta ads, Instagram ads, all the things that are used to fill up a closer's calendar are more expensive. And so like the leeway of a closer underperforming, like it's just not existent. Like you'll get clipped on an offer 2 weeks in, if not sooner, if you're not performing because you're costing a business money. Right. And these are the things people don't talk about. And, if I scare you away, cool. Maybe, save you some tears. Or if you're like, yeah, I got what it takes. Awesome. I'm not unfortunately here to pitch you, even though this is a sales training presentation. Maybe towards the end, I can give you guys some pointers if you do guys want to reach out and talk about training. But we're going to dive into the Canva presentation. How many of you guys have been on one of these with me before? Just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. Thank you, Jordan, Rachel. Put a 1 in the chat if you have. Miriam, what's up, Miriam?
Hi, friend.
Good to have you. What are you doing here with your camera off?
I'm about to turn it on here in a second.
That's what I like to hear. All right. Sweet. Some of you guys have been here. Okay. So I put together a new presentation for the beginning. We're going to talk about reframing. We're also going to talk about how you can leverage AI tools right now to just make your job easier and make your feedback loop between your performance and what needs to change so much tighter so you can just progress at a faster rate. These are things that me and some of my friends who are now, we've all closed for years, but now we're doing, we're consulting, we're recruiting, we're managing teams, we're growth operating. These are things we're using with our teams. And so I'm going to be sharing all that. Some of you guys might have been around on other presentations where I talk about my sob story. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into kind of my perspective on emerging technology and how I think salespeople really kind of, what's the expression? They miss the forest for the trees, right? We're so fixated on getting better at closing. But if we're not looking to leverage technology and all the things that can allow us to do our job better, we're just going to cap out where instead of just, where you can be making sure 10 grand, 20 grand a month, which is good money. Don't get me wrong. Like when I was making 20, 30K a month, I was so taken care of and happy. And there's opportunities to make life-changing wealth. So I bought my first Bitcoin at $800. Who's been in the cryptocurrency game? Just put a 1 in the chat. Yeah, this is some of you guys are going to feel for me with these in the next few slides here. Bought my first Bitcoin at $600. This was my balance sheet, quote unquote, that I put together. Okay, $600, motherfuckers. What is it now? Like $75,000. I doubled down at 2K. I got scared, sold a little bit at 5K, which was still like a 9x return, right? And then I held the rest and sold it when it was about $17,000. In 2017, I think it was 2017, maybe beginning of 2018, the crypto market Bitcoin topped at around 21,000. Okay. Anyone been in the game that long? No? Let me know if you have. So I was, I'll go into it in a second, but the reason I share that is the people that were telling me that it was junk, it wouldn't work, it was bullshit when it was at $2,000. And these were guys that were working on Wall Street. These were people that were, quote unquote, respected executives at these financial firms. They were texting me when it was $20,000 saying, hey, I just bought some. Where do you think this run can go? Or, hey, I'm thinking about like putting a loan on my house, or I'm thinking about taking out of my 401k to buy some now. The market would later crash and completely wipe those people out. Okay. I don't really label myself as a salesperson. I label myself as an entrepreneur who can sell. And that identity has very much served me in negotiating revenue share on different accounts, negotiating base salaries, negotiating more aggressive commissions, because not only can I sell, but I can also solve problems. And when you can solve rich people's problems, as Hermosi says, you can make more money. Now, for most of you guys here, mastering sales will open up those doors, but I want to plant these seeds so you're thinking like 3 steps ahead and not just how can I reframe better? because it really is a full stack game. If you guys have seen me talk about, the truth is, riding a trend with no real skill will not get you as far as you can go. Okay, this is the part that hurts. I learned this the hard way, and this was the mistake that cost me making my first million at 25. I'm now 33. So I was a cunt hair away from making my first million at 25 years old. And then restarting at rock bottom was a mistake that really kind of like, I'm not going to go into the whole sob part of that. You guys probably heard that. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I did really well for a few years. So I was 23, 24 at the time, making killer money, not just holding Bitcoin. I was very involved in blockchain startups, blockchain consulting, making really good money. And when I got very aggressive in my trading, when the market started to downtrend, that's when I started like really burning through my account and realizing that I wasn't as good as I thought when it came to trading. I was just an early adopter. Okay, so this was my account after I burned through my lovely trading account. And what I realized, this was like the $1 million lesson, was that I had learned how to trade. But my friends who are now set for life, during that period of time, they mastered it. Okay. Ended up living in this like little shitty shit box I called Pumba. And I bought this thing for $2,000. And part of why I got into sales, like that lesson, that mistake, whatever you want to call it, what it taught me was I needed to master a set of skills that no one can take from me no matter what. That's why you're all here. Okay. That's what led from making, having 20 bucks in my account to consistently making 20 to 30K in commissions. On some accounts, by the way, my commissions would rarely dip below 18K a month. And then commission started buying toys again. So this was probably one of my pride and joys. You guys might have seen it on my Instagram. I lived out of it for about 6 months traveling the US. Part of why I chose high ticket sales was because I wanted to always be remote. And for some reason, the pictures with my family, which is the most important ones, aren't loading. But this is really why I got into sales. On my third 20K commission month, I took my parents to Hawaii. This picture isn't loaded, but I took them to Japan. And then last year we went to Greece together. And that's really what motivates me. Like between all the toys, the surfing, all the adrenaline stuff that I'm addicted to, it's really my family. I have a very big family. For you guys that have big families as well, people pass away, people go through emergencies, like people face financial hardships, and being able to like support them through that, not even thinking about it when you're sending the money, is probably one of the most fulfilling things for me. So when you've mastered an income producing skill, that no matter the economy or what tech is booming, no matter what, you'll be able to take advantage of these things and 10x your growth. I'm going to show you this in its application to sales and how you guys can increase your income immediately, and then what you can start thinking about long term. P.S. Sales made me my crypto money back in 2021 because I was making good money in commission. I wasn't just fucking around with it. I was actively investing it in different things. Bought a lot of land, bought some hard assets, also bought some crypto back when it was during a downtrend. And 2021, it had a killer bull run, made some good money back then. But I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of that had I not actually been able to produce 20, 30K months from sales. Okay. So we're going to go into the reframe method for the first half of this. And then we're going to go into the application of AI. Cool? You guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Miriam. What would I do without you? It's good to see you. All right. Most of you guys have seen this before, but I think it's for the newbies here. We want to understand, I'll be speaking the same language. Do you guys know what reframing is? Put it in the chat for me if you do. Bonus points if you can define it with, I guess it's on the screen. Just put yes if you know what it is. Yes, amazing, sweet. Reframing is probably one of the most important skills when it comes to human persuasion and influencing. It is shifting a belief to one that serves a greater outcome in what we do, right? We shift a broken belief, right? One that isn't serving to the people we speak to, and we help them see or understand a different belief that is going to align with the actions that they need to take to get the outcomes that they want. Okay. That's what I believe is the definition of ethical selling. Okay. What are broken beliefs? Right. We're not here to judge. Right. People's beliefs are generated through their experiences, through the people they're around, right, through the environments that they grow up in. But if someone wants a certain outcome, they are required to take certain actions, right? Like that's not rocket science. All of you guys want to make how much money you guys want to make in sales? Put in the chat. 10K, 20K, 30. No judgment, by the way. If y'all want to make 10K a month and be consistent and you're happy there, fucking do it. If you want to make 50K a month, do it. Cool. 10K a month, 40K a month. I've made 10K a month and I was happy as balls because I was surfing every day, and I've made well over 50K a month, and things don't change at that point. It's just what it allows you to do. Okay. But as you guys have realized, like if you want to make more money, you have to take actions that the broke version of you probably isn't taking. Okay. The cognitive dissonance between the actions required and the beliefs behind those actions are the broken beliefs. Okay. You guys probably all know that. We're just defining it, making it sound fancy. But the beliefs underneath the actions is what drives results. There's no other way around it, guys. Humans are simple. If we want certain results, there is certain actions required that probably most people aren't willing to take because the beliefs aren't there that are required to get there. Okay. If you guys just understood this, you will be able to reframe more effectively without sounding fancy. And you can even lay this out. For you guys that are just starting off, if you can just like literally on a sales call, hey man, can I share a perspective with you? Do you believe that your beliefs dictate your actions and that your actions dictate your results? So why are we allowing the beliefs that got you here to be the beliefs that change your results? You can literally say that verbatim on a sales call and you will close more deals. Okay. What are some of the basic limiting beliefs? These you can overcome through logic trapping. I talked about this on the last one. I don't have a lot of time, I don't have enough money, or I'm looking for the right vehicle, or I'm researching to find the perfect thing. How many of you guys have heard that on sales call? Put a yes in the chat. Of course you have Megan. Of course you have Jason. These are probably the most common ones. These are typically, you can handle these with logic traps. Well, of course you don't have time, my friend. Because if you were making more money, you'd buy more what? Time. Or of course you don't have money because you don't have skills. What do you need to do to actually get more skills? It's probably not leave this call without doing anything different. Okay, pretty simple with this stuff. Then there's the deeper core beliefs. I'm not good enough. I can't be a certain way. I don't want to be perceived a certain way. I don't believe it's possible. These are things that people won't openly admit on a sales call. Sometimes they will, but oftentimes we need to dig for it. Right? You don't get on a sales call with a stranger and just start dumping your insecurities usually. People do that with me for some reason. I don't know why, but it's not a skill you can replicate. So what is repeatable is having a process that uncovers that, excuse me. Okay. So before we start trying to reframe people at minute 3, beating them over the head with like a mindset bat, as my coach used to say, we need to earn their trust. Okay. This might seem very basic for a lot of you guys. I think most sales reps drop the ball in the first 3 to 5 minutes of their sales call. Miriam's agreeing with me. Actually, Miriam's the only one I can see for some reason, little floating head on my screen. Okay. Rapport. I think reps overdo rapport. They diminish their status. I don't think they're actively listening in their first 3 to 5 questions because they've said it so many times, even though that's where all the gold and the direction of the call is. And if you know how to take your shots on that, you can probe on emotion a lot quicker. And they're not listening to the language that their reps are, that their prospects are saying. Okay. You guys with me so far? It's a refresher for a lot of you guys. Drop a yes in the chat. If I don't get engagement, Miriam knows I just question my existence. So you must be seen as an authority. Okay. If you want people to open up, if you want people to trust you, they must see you as an expert or as a consultant or as someone worth opening up to. They're not going to open up to you if they don't feel like you can solve their problems. And they're not going to feel like you can solve their problems if you're trying to open up a call asking them about, hey, I had a cousin that went to Medellin one time. He said it was a good place to go. Do you think I should go? Like, fuck do I care? Can you solve my problem or not? Okay. Rapport short, then we're going and opening our call. How we open it is what makes all of this possible. I'll give you guys a couple examples in a moment. How many of you guys agree with me that humans are more motivated, not always, but more motivated by avoiding pain and achieving pleasure? Put a yes if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. And I'll reframe you live right now. Okay. Boo. Everyone agrees with me. Sweet. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like there will, when, as you guys move up market and you're selling to maybe a more established buyer, right? Maybe you're selling tax strategy or you're selling different business services, right? People are at those levels are more motivated by speed and by status. But for what most of you guys will be selling in this industry, people are wanting to avoid pain. Right. Very simple example. Like how many of you guys, like it would be nice to have $1 million liquid in the bank right now, right? Everybody? Yeah. How many of you guys have lived paycheck to paycheck at some point in your life? Fucking I have. I showed you guys my bank account. How many of you guys still living paycheck to paycheck? No shame. How many of you guys are in debt? Okay. Taking on a little bit more debt to get out of debt faster. How many of you guys would be open to that? Yeah. That's how you overcome money objections, by the way. Okay, cool. Yeah. For those of you guys that have been paycheck to paycheck, right? Imagine like when you're in that situation, an extra $5,000 a month would have been life-changing, right? How much like less stress would you have to like deal with? So that's what I mean. And the reason I preface this section with that is I think a lot of reps get too focused on the promised land, the desired outcomes. But if someone's never made $20,000, or if someone has never lost 40 pounds, or if someone has never, started a business, they don't actually really know what it's going to be like. So you can play around in the promised land of, when you're making $20,000 a month, what happens then? And they'll like try their best to answer those questions, but there's not a lot of emotion attached to it. Versus if you're experiencing knee pain every single day because you're overweight and you can't do the things that you used to do, that is a very pressing problem that's in front of you every single day. And if we can dive into that, that's where all the emotion is. Okay. I just see a lot of reps. I work with a lot of reps that are starting off sometimes, right? And like, the programs that got them into the industry, it's like all about vision and desired state. That's why they're not closing, especially when they're talking to a prospect that has been on sales calls before. So I like to go into what they're doing. Hey, welcome to the call. Let me see this on the next slide, actually. Cool. I'll give you, hey guys, welcome to the call. Or what's up, Miriam? How we doing? Where are you calling in from? Sweet. Good stuff. Nice background. What were you hoping to get out of the call with me today? Like, that's how I start a sales call. Like, I keep it very simple. Like, I'm polite, I'm smiling, I'm not being a dick, right? I have like, we need to treat our prospects with courtesy. But it's, hey, I'm not saying, hey, thank you for your time, welcome, and bullshit. It's like, hey, welcome in. Where are you calling in from? You still good for the next 45? That's what I have on the calendar. Okay, amazing. What was it that you saw from our XYZ that made you want to book in some time today? Okay, very clean, going for it. Okay, when it comes to that, give me a little bit more context. What is the overarching goal with blank? And what's maybe shifted that has you looking into this now? Okay. Now, these 3-4 questions, guys, like what we're not just doing this to sound robotic. Like you will get a lot of direction in these calls. So do not just like check out when someone will typically tell you, yes, I think it's time that I actually start making money with Amazon FBA. And like already in, minute 1 or 2, you have something to work with. This transitions into your current situation. Okay, amazing. Just to see how we can best help you here. Give me an understanding. Are you already running an Amazon shop or are you just looking to get started? You're just looking to get started. Fantastic. What do you do for work now? and I'm already in their current situation 6 questions in. Okay. It's going to be different for everyone's offer, but I'm looking for data. I'm looking for some form of data because people, in my opinion, can't hide behind data. Okay. It's going to be different for the non-ROI offers, but there's still ways to find it. How many of you guys have ever sold to a salesperson? Yep. You guys ever get, yeah, Jason, let me ask you this. You ever ask a salesperson, cool, man, how much money you want to make? And they tell you, yeah, I don't know, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, exactly. We've gotten that. And it's because we're not asking specific questions, right? But you ask a salesperson, hey, Jason, so just so I understand like what the growth trajectory is here, how much commission did you make last month? Right? Like you're not going to be able to hide. And if you start squirming around, I know you just didn't make that much, right? Salespeople are a very extreme example. But you talk to like someone that's working like, an engineering job and they're going through a career transition and that's why they're on the call with you. Cool, man. So what have you been doing for in your career up until now? Okay. You've been an engineer. Okay. How many years? Being an engineer for 6 years. Okay. What does that maybe equate to in terms of the yearly salary that you take home? Right. Very quickly, I'm like looking for some form of data because behind the data is the dissatisfaction, the unhappiness, the thing that this person wants to change. For some people, it's lack of money, right? People that are transitioning their career, salespeople that want to improve their skill set to make more money. But it's the same thing with the non-ROI offer. If you're selling fitness, right, their current weight or the way that they look or the way that they feel is causing pain or dissatisfaction or it's limiting them in some way, right? I've sold on 3, I think it was, men's work accounts. So similar to what Jordan sells, it wasn't really sex addiction healing. It was more like personal development, helping men through divorce. So there was still data there. It just wasn't in numbers, it's in behaviors. Okay. So that's what we're looking for in the beginning. Do I set agendas? I do not. I maybe I'll set a very short agenda. But I don't like the long-winded agendas because personally, I think people check out because all of a sudden you're telling them how the call is going to go. And if they're a type A person that's been on calls before, they're going to get a little rebellious and not, and be like, oh yeah, this kind of call is going to go. Sure. Whatever you say. Or you talk to someone else who's like me and has high ADHD, I'm probably going to check out and not listen to anything you're saying. So I like to be more direct. Hey man, so best to see if I can get a sense of your situation to see if we can even help. And if we can talk about that. If not, point in the right direction. And then I'm into it. The long-winded agendas, I don't think serve the purpose. In the beginning, if you guys are just starting off, it's okay to have a little bit of an agenda to, give you a little bit of confidence. But you'll find like as you're making, 10, 50K plus, it really isn't necessary anymore. Good question. So what we're looking for, where they want to go. And first we want to figure out like where they are, right? Where they want to go, what they want to achieve, and why they want to achieve it. The reason we're doing this, guys, you guys know this, you should, you're all in sales, is because we're figuring out a gap, right? The bigger the gap is, that's where the sale is made, especially when we're selling $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 programs. Right? There needs to be a reason for someone to invest the amount of time and money required to solve that gap. But what we're also setting ourselves up for is to find what's actually prevented them. There's going to be an external reason, and the last 10 minutes is really all to give you guys context for the internal reason. Okay? And that's where we're going to go into right now, which is the reframe method. But I want to make this crystal clear. You can ask someone, awesome, man, so this is your situation and this is where we want to get to. Help me understand, because it seems like it's been a while that you've been wanting to have a career transition. What's actually prevented you from already stepping into another XYZ role? Guess what you're going to get? Some external ass BS. Oh, I haven't had the time, or, I just haven't known where to look, or blah, 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 blah. You just can't buy any of that. Okay. But from like an internal perspective, What's
Um,
actually stopped you, right? Or okay, but if you like really had to think about it, so what you ask sales reps? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but if you had to think about it, why do you think you're not closing at a higher level? Or the non-ROI offers. Okay, so it seems like there's a lot of things outside of you from like an internal perspective, from what's in your control. What do you think is really going on? Right. So when I would sell to men that were, post divorce, right, it's all the wife's problem, right? Oh, it's because of her, because of her, because of her. If they won't take responsibility for tolerating or causing a problem, do you think they're going to take responsibility to solve it? No. It's a rhetorical question. So cool, man. I hear that. And you're here. So all I can do is really coach you. So from what's in your control, what do you feel is like the reason that your partner actually behaves this way? So boom, whatever external shit they give you, we just bring it internal. Again, because that's where we can anchor in responsibility. You guys with me so far? Pretty straightforward stuff. What's up, Aleem? Good to see you. What's up, Victoria? Good to see you. What's up, Nicole? Cool. Let's keep going. So you got what is going on? I can like see myself on camera. Weird. Okay. You guys can write this down. This is just like a framework for reframing, a framework for reframe. How do we turn external into internal? Okay. This is for 90% of what you guys sell. There are cases where you will be using data and logical presentations to close deals. Like when I sell recruiting services, like those are logical conversations. When I'm talking to multi-7-figure business owners, it's like I find data, I find shots to take, and present a very logical case, right? For 90% of what you guys sell, it's going to be an internal problem, right? So a couple ways we can do that. Once we start seeing the breadcrumbs, the weak language, the externalization, weak language meaning I would hope that's possible, or I've been trying, or I've been researching, right? Language of thought but no action. These are the things we want to start clarifying, defining, or even pattern interrupting. Okay. Pattern interrupting meaning like one of my favorite pattern interrupts. You guys have probably heard this before on all the Instagram role play stuff. What if that actually wasn't your problem? Or what if that's the exact reason why you actually haven't gotten anywhere? Or what if that's the exact reason why you're here, right? You talk to someone who's been researching, I've been doing a lot of research and just trying to find the perfect thing. What if that actually wasn't the problem? Wait, what? They're going to get confused, right? And this is where we can start reframing something. Okay. We ask for permission. Yeah, can I be a little bit direct with you? How long have you been researching? How much money have you actually made in this research phase? So do you see why that maybe not isn't the issue? Most people, and this is where an analogy comes in, or you can just be direct. Most people are researching for the perfect thing because they want to have enough certainty before taking action. Is that how certainty is built? No. You're already pre-handling fear. You guys with me? Did you guys catch that? Some of you guys have been selling for a while. This is like a reminder. I'll give you guys a couple examples here in a second. We'll put a few of you guys on blast. And then permission to let go. We have to grab the permission to let go because what we're doing in persuasive style selling, it's a little bit different with like the more aggressive types of selling, but this style has worked for me because I'm a pretty direct person. If I was just too direct on sales calls, I'd probably get hung up on more often. We need to have people like agree, like when people agree to something or people vocalize something, it is very difficult for them to go back on their word because it breaks congruency, right? Humans don't like to be incongruent. Some people are, we call those bums, but most humans don't like to be incongruent. So if you captured fear, it's like, okay, so do you feel like it's time to actually let go of that belief that you need more research before you're ready? Because what happens if you don't? So you're getting them to buy into, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Because if I keep researching, I'm not going to actually change my situation. And this is happening in your discovery. So then when you're price dropping 8K, it's a lot more. The objections you're typically going to get are money and maybe a little bit of fear, but then you're not going to get the bullshit stuff of, you know what, I want to keep researching. Okay. Let's do some practice rounds. We're going to do very simple level 1. I'm going to keep this on the screen. Someone want to give it a shot as if like I'll be the prospect. I'll be easy for this one. Someone want to give it a shot? How you would reframe I haven't had money in the discovery. Put a yes in the chat if you want to get on blast. Megan isn't allowed because Megan actually knows what to do. Marissa, I'll come back to you because we're going to be working on this heavy. All right. Well, no one else has the cojones. All right, Marissa, you're up. Come off mute, girl.
Are you gonna tell me you don't have money right now?
Yeah, so this is how it would go because I know what you sell, right? You're selling like sobriety coaching,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
and most people don't have the money, but they have the
Exactly.
money to drink.
They have the money to drink. Exactly. Yeah, this is perfect for you. So as you're going through your discovery, right, you're going to be figuring out, hey, what's really preventing you from seeking help in the past?
Hmm.
Oh, I just haven't found the right thing. Yeah, but like outside of that, what's really prevented you from actually like seeking help since this is really making an impact on your family? That's where we say we leave off. And what I'm going to tell you is, you know what? I've looked at different programs. I just haven't had the money for it. So
Yeah.
following this process, how would you reframe that?
Um, I would say, okay, it makes sense that, it's a big chunk right away. But I mean, since you're investing in this, wouldn't it be like you're already investing in what's hurting you, right? So what's the hesitation in investing in the solution?
Ooh, okay. Um, well, it's just more than I've ever. Well, the things I've looked at was just a lot of money. You know, they're asking for thousands of dollars.
Yes, of course. And I mean, over the past few years, you've drank a lot of your money, actually. We've calculated that together, right? It's $20,000 over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And do you see the delta uh, solution versus what you've been doing so far? I mean, what's your plan B here?
I don't really have one.
Okay. So, I mean, what should we do about this?
Cool. Let me pause you there. Good stuff. Put you on the spot. What I want you to clean up there is like you challenge me,
Yeah.
right? Someone said like, I've looked at other things, you know, I just haven't had money. Well, what do you mean? Just asking one more clarifying question. What do you mean? Well, like I've looked at other programs and they want thousands of dollars. You gotta like we want to think about the language they want. That's like an energy of taking, but this is the person's the one that has the problem. Well, it's not that they want it, it's like they want to help you.
Yeah.
I guess like can do I have permission to be a little direct with you? If we've like calculated that over the last 4 years you've spent over $20,000 on like something that's hurting your family, why is it that there's so much resistance about investing a few $1,000s to solve this? Like I don't understand. You're going to get the real hesitation, the belief, or whatever is actually there. And then you can actually start shifting that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll work on that in our next session. Good stuff. Cool. That was level 1. Who wants to try? I don't have time. Don't be scared. It's how y'all learn.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
All right, Miriam. All right, Miriam. Cool. What do you sell?
I'm a TikTok shop monetization offer.
Ooh, this is gonna be easy work for you.
Hopefully.
Sweet. So yeah, let's just say you're Nordisco, and oh, you probably get this all the time. The single mom with 3 kids.
Hmm.
All right, I'm a single dad with 3 kids. Knock on wood.
You get those too sometimes.
Yeah, it's just you know what it is to be a single parent, Miriam. Like I just don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. You're not unlike a lot of people that we help, Andreas. Is is that something that like, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like there are other people like you, dads with multiple kids, who can be successful in this and you've seen be successful based on what you've seen so far?
Uh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm just curious, why do you think you would be a little different?
Well, every parent's different, Like
Mhm.
I just have a lot of stuff going on, so I just don't know if I can really put in the time.
When you say a lot of stuff going on, what does that mean?
Well, like a single dad, I'm taking the kids around, I'm working, I'm helping them with their homework, doing all that.
Hmm. Yeah. Here, can I ask you, can I just like share some raw truth with you just because, at this point I really care about you and helping you find a solution.
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah. If there are other parents doing this just like you, and you have seen over and over at this point in the call, like we've gone over like a lot of examples, like there's a possibility for you to like really win at this. Like, why don't you give yourself a shot to do the same?
I'm just concerned if I commit to something, like it's going to take more time than I can really give to it, and it doesn't
Hmm.
work out.
Yeah. Well, I guess if that's true, then I guess if nothing changes, nothing's going to change, right? I know
Yeah.
that sounds cliche, but it's when you really think about it, isn't that true?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's probably, I mean, the way I see it, there's like two forks in the road, right? Or there is a fork in the road. You can decide to give it a little bit of risk here and try something different for the sake of reaching your goal, or we can just fall back into what's familiar. Because our brain will want always what's best. Now, our brain doesn't want what's best. It wants what's familiar. So it's probably going to be what happens to you over and over again, to be truthful.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, Andres, I feel like I've lost it a little bit, but
Cool. Good stuff. Hey, you let me put you on the spot in front of 30 people. Awesome. Good stuff. This is how you learn. Um, Feedback for you. Here is I think your analogy game. If you can just increase that. Oh,
oh,
you're
it's
good.
horrible. I
Yeah.
can't think of any of them on the spot.
Well, actually, that's perfect because I have one of the bots I'm sharing today is an analogy bot you guys probably played with already. But this is where like you led with curiosity. Well, what do you mean? Time? For most of you guys, if you just take the last word or the buzzword that your prospect has said and just add a question mark and a curious tone behind it, they will have to like defend it, and you'll find that it's mostly smokescreen. Well, Miri, I'm a single dad. I don't have a lot of time. Time?
Hmm.
Well, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Ask for permission. Can I be real with you for a second? We talk to a lot of parents, a lot of them. And there's some that do it for their kids and find the time, and some that can't because of them. Who do you think actually like changes their situation to actually support their family?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, and it couldn't come out. It wouldn't come out.
All
That's what I was
good.
thinking. And like the
Yeah.
words were not coming. But
There's also an analogy. I really like the gym analogy. It's like, there's two people that, like, do you ever work out? Okay. There's two people that want to have a six pack,
yeah.
right? There's one person that like, works out at home once in a while. And there's another person that signs up for the gym, shows up every morning, 5 a.m. before they have to clock into work at 8, works with the trainer, has a diet plan. Who actually gets a six pack? Why is that? The difference here, this isn't a six pack, brother. This is about you and your kids and your family. So does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
We're just going internal. Like I'm just what I'm doing is I'm cutting out all the BS and I'm just putting the responsibility on them. Otherwise, these are the same things that are going to manifest in objections that you're going to cycle for 45 minutes. Cool. We're going to go into a couple more advanced ones, but I got something for you. Me personally, analogies took me a long time to get better at. And that was before AI. So one of the things that I've been playing with is like how to, one of the things like I train my students on is we have AI call review bots. And it's not to replace a trainer or a coach or a good manager. It's just to increase the feedback and the data analysis. So when I was like on 3 different offers and I was, banking between 20, 30K a month, I would watch a call at the end of the day, get my feedback and gas out because I was exhausted. Right? You guys can, with the same 30 minutes of the call review, your admin task, you can go through 10 calls with AI. I had a student, she just jumped into one-on-one with me on Sunday. We had our first one-on-one on Tuesday. She had 10 calls analyzed through AI. And so through the AI criteria that I set, on our first one-on-one call, we had 10 calls and it was like, cool, these are the 3 biggest area of improvements. She's not probing enough. She's not consequencing hard enough. And so her objections are weak. So immediately we're able to dive into something from the jump and work on something like that's going to be high leverage. And so this is what I mean when I say AI is going to replace weak and mediocre reps, because one good rep that can progress and ramp quickly is going to just take the lion's share of the good leads, because it's in the best interest of the business to do that. This isn't me like fear mongering and saying like, oh, if you don't get good, like you're going to get out of work. It's just a reality of displacement and emergent technology, which is why I started this whole presentation with my Bitcoin story. Okay. So these examples, instead of like workshopping it now, I'll give you guys this. This is how many of you guys have played with this? The AI bot, the reframing bot? Let me know in the chat. Sweet. Victoria. Okay, some of you guys have. Yeah, this thing is money. Drop it in the chat for you guys. I actually got my Claude account banned because so many people were using it and probably asking it scam objections, and Claude flagged it as some like scammy thing. So I got my account deleted, but we rebuilt it. And in 20 minutes last night, I became a coder. But this is what I mean. For you guys that are weak with analogies, this is how you get better, right? I want to try this on myself first before I give you $5,000. Okay, I mean, you guys got that objection before. Oh, look, it's a lead magnet now. Okay, great. So what this is going to do, it's going to give me 4 frameworks, 3 of people that I've learned from, 1 from myself. Okay. Then it's going to give you an analogy. And if you guys can just start writing down these analogies and using them in your role plays and when you're training, they're going to be natural to you when you get on a live call. Okay, so what this bot will tell you, what's the real fear underneath? They're afraid of wasting time on something that won't work for them. So they need proof that they're not going to fail before committing. Like, that's the real fear. So Neil Rackman, who's the founder of Spin Selling, which is like a great book for sales reps. I really like his frameworks. Hermosi, I like the way he thinks, and Miner, because he's one of the goats, and I learned a lot under Jeremy. And then this is my personal flavor on it, like more like the emotional, like intelligence involved. But then it's going to give you an analogy. It's like waiting to practice surgery on yourself before hiring the surgeon. Some of these are so sassy. Like, yeah, you'll learn something, but you'll also be stitching up your own mistakes. Last night, I was playing with this and it gave me a great, like, if you guys have ever gotten the objection, yeah, this all sounds great, but I'd like to talk to one of your clients first before moving forward. It's like the sophisticated way of saying I'm fucking fearful, right? The analogy that it gave me was like, yeah, would you, when you sign up for the gym, do you need to talk to all the clients there? Why not? There's people that are out of shape and there's people that are in shape. They're both at the same gym. What's the difference? Right. So these are the analogies that someone put in the chat an objection you're getting. Lanisha. You could this one is this one's better. The other one was giving me errors. I want to see. I don't think I can actually stop. Ooh, let's try this. Jordan, let's throw a curveball at it. For a sex addiction prospect, I don't think I can actually stop. All right, let's test. Let's say test the capabilities of this. Let's see if you break my bot.
Tough one.
This is a tough one. That's a good one. Oh man, we could role play this out in the Q&A if you're still around.
I'd love to be, but I don't think we'll be.
The real fear. I'm terrified that I'm fundamentally broken and even professional help won't be enough to fix me.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see what I would say in my bot version. Feeling of hopelessness is common with this. You're not alone in feeling that way. You've probably tried willpower 100 times and it's exhausting. But here's what's true. You can't stop doesn't mean it's impossible. It means what you've been doing isn't working. How does that land? So if I could show you a system that's worked, would you want to see it? Not bad. But the analogy is what we want to really work with. Because with reframing and objections, guys, to diffuse sales resistance, analogies work really well. This is why I built this bot to give you an analogy. It's like saying I can't stop is like saying I can't swim while you're drowning in the deep end and alone. Like you're right, you probably can't. But if you had a lifeguard, a system, floaties, and people that have been in the water or people in the water with you, how different is that? That's not bad. Sweet. You didn't break my bot. Good stuff.
Yeah.
There's another one here. I want to see testimonials. Okay, that's right. Yeah. I want to see more testimonials first and what your success rate is. The success rate objection. Gotta love that one. And so this is what I mean, guys. Like, you guys need to understand how to reframe, need to have a framework to follow. But this is when you have 7 calls at the end of the day. You look back at your calls, you're like, cool, I got 4 competitor objections today. You run the transcripts through an AI bot, you have it validate your hypothesis, and then you start training on it, either on your own or with the trainer, or with your sales manager, whatever it is. But you're focused on the highest leverage things. So for you, Victoria, the real fear, if I commit and it doesn't work, I'll feel like a fool who's wasted money on another failed promise. Yeah, right. Because what are they doing? They're externalizing. So an analogy, asking for more testimonials is like a passenger asking to see the pilot's flight log before boarding. That's one I used to, a similar one that you probably guys seen on TikTok or Instagram. So yeah, it's like getting on a plane and wanting to go into the cockpit and asking the pilot what every single button does. Is that going to get you to Hawaii if that's where you want to go? You kind of have to trust a pilot, make sure you're on the right flight. So I dropped that in the chat for you guys. Later, brother. We'll try one more. I don't make decisions on the spot. Veronica, you had a question for me?
I did, but it's just a quick technical one. Like, did you code this or did you do this in co-work? Because I tried to build this and I put in one objection and it completely said, I'm out, like just cooked through.
Yeah, so anything you guys don't know, you just ask Claude. So because I was having errors with the first one. So I kept asking it, I'm like, how do I fix it? How do I make it public? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, you're going to need to use GitHub. Okay, well, how the fuck do I do that? So then it gave me the exact like explanation to go through GitHub, which I've never used before. And it gave me all the files to upload. And I'm like, okay, now what do I do? And it said, now you're going to connect it to Versal, which I've also never used. So I did this last night in 25 minutes. Just I kept asking it, how do I do that? How do I do that? Talk to me like I'm 3 years old. And so now we have this standalone app that's outside of Claude. So Claude, like it
Okay.
still pulls from different things, but that's how I made it.
Okay.
Sweet. So let's check this objection, and then we'll move on to the final thing for today, which is like how want you guys thinking when it comes to these things. For a lot of you guys, like these, like this, a call review bot, a AI for call tracking. Those are all things that are going to make you better at your current job. But I'm going to talk about how the industry is going to change in the next couple of years based on the things I've seen over the last 5. So for you, Jason, I don't make decisions on the spot, right? They're terrified of making a costly mistake under pressure, and they want to protect themselves by creating distance from the decision. Time and space. Exactly. They want time and space to feel more comfortable. So a power analogy, I mean, you can just go for that. Like, hey, man, but like what's actually coming up for you that's making you want to put time and space if you actually feel like this can help you solve blank problem? You can just go for that. But if you want to like diffuse with an analogy, I mean, can I share a perspective with you? Waiting to decide is like standing at a red light that's already turned green. You're not really being cautious, right? You're just like blocking your own path while everyone else moves forward. So my question for you is like, what's actually coming up for you that's making you want to put time and space before making a decision that's going to actually help your situation? And you're just like probably in fear at that point, or money logistical. Y'all learned something today? We're not done yet. I just need some water. Takeaway so far. I'll drop the bot in the chat one more time. No one ask it weird shit and get my account deleted again. Yeah, I was in bed last night, like it was 1 a.m, and I was like having so much fun. I couldn't sleep. I was like, wait, fix this. Now I'm a coder. Gonna start a new offer. How to become a coder in 20 minutes, 5K. Because we can sell anything, right, Victoria? It's the whole point, getting good at sales. High ticket industry goes away in 2 years. We'll still find plenty of ways to make money. Cool. What have you guys learned so far? And then I'm going to go into something that I think is just really good for you guys to understand. And then we'll go into some Q&A. Pop off mute, drop in the chat. What have you learned?
I think that I haven't been turning these external problems internally. I haven't been making my prospects take ownership. And that's why I'm coming into such like, that's why we're butting heads so much like at the end, because I should have done it earlier.
Yes. Yeah. And like we've talked about on training calls, like with your questions and your tone, you're going to be able to evoke those things like early on. So we gotta leverage your superpower. Yeah.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Deepak.
Yeah. So my bigger takeaway is that don't fight the surface objection. We need to get underneath it in terms of like when we talk about reframing structures.
Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, you tackle the surface level stuff, people will dig their heels in, and then you're just like combative and then getting hung up on. Annie, Danny Bounce, Jason, lead with questions. Yeah, so you can exactly destroy the limiting beliefs. All right, Vic, go make some money. Cool. Okay. Nicole, what you got?
Hi, Andres. How are you?
Good to meet.
Glad to hear you. Yeah. Appreciate everything that you're sharing with us today. It's really great, and I'm learning a lot. So, for example, as Deepak just mentioned, and actually, same thing Victoria said, my main thing is being challenging. I have been growing better like every single day and practicing a lot, but being challenging with people, it's like shit. The other day, I was in another like sales conversation, and we were talking about some types of closers. And I'm really people pleaser kind of person. I'm like, oh yeah, got you. Yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to like getting them from this sweet spot, but I'm struggling at becoming challenging. So I don't know if that's for the Q&A section, but I am learning a little bit of that on
Cool.
how you're saying it, but also would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, it's a great. I'll give you some nuggets now, and then we'll dive into the Q&A. For those of you guys that don't know, like the paid community that I train, it's about 70% women. Lindsay, is it 70? Maybe it's more now. There's a lot of women that I
Definitely
coach.
more.
Probably more because like 80% female. And it's a common thing for women, right? They people pleaser, right? For whatever reason. I'm not gonna act like I know why. But that's the biggest thing that I coach them around is like, we need to kill your people pleaser, because that's what stops you from saying what needs to be said and telling someone what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Now, to train that, right, I can tell you that all day and like, you know, beat it over your head, but to train that is, I don't know if you're here in the beginning, is how you open a call is so important as a female, especially when you're selling to men, and especially when you're selling to men who are older than you, because they'll see like a young woman and they'll try and take frame, or they won't listen to you challenging them. So the way we do that is from the beginning. Hey, Nicole, welcome to the call. I got about 45 minutes. You good? Amazing. What was that made you want to book in some time? You need to hold authority. You almost want to pretend like you're too busy for them, right? Not to be mean. It's just to hold that status. It's just very important up until you get comfortable. What that allows you to do is in your discovery, when you're asking questions and people are like, oh, well, you know, I just haven't had a lot of time or haven't, what do you mean? Tell me about that. And when you can condition the prospect that you're going to interject and you're going to define the buzzwords that they tell you, it's going to be much more difficult for them to give you excuses. And the last thing I'll tell you, and this is just to build up to kill the people pleaser, we need to work up to it. Is Megan still here? Megan's one of my one-on-one students. It's like a big thing that for her, you know, and then now she's like really direct, is asking for permission. Part of it is so our sales or our prospect is receptive, but sometimes it's for you to just give yourself the permission to say the fucking thing. So an example of that is like, hey, Nicole, I hear a lot of reasons why you haven't been able to do this. Can I be a little bit direct with you? Or can I say something without you like hating me for it? Or can I be real with you without you hanging up on me? Or can I say something that maybe you don't want to hear, but I feel like you need to hear? Giving yourself that permission will allow you to give yourself like just to say what you want to say. And it will take practice.
And it definitely sounds great though. Like it gives you a lot of frame just by asking that question, right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Some of the ways I do it, it's like, hey man, can I coach you as if you're already a client? You're just all in your own way. You're looking for all the reasons why X, Y, Z. And so those are different ways that you can be direct with someone. And again, like you said, hold a frame. Good stuff. We'll come back to those questions towards the end. Can I put my coaching hat on? Can I talk to you as if you were already a client? That's what I've been saying as of late, because plants a little bit of a seed inside. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if Sales Onk over here can figure this out. Lindsay, don't bust my balls. I practiced this before everyone jumped on. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. It's loading. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at me. I'm floating. Okay, can you guys see the screen? Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Can you guys let me know in the chat because I can't see anybody? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Sweet. I made a video that no one watched because when I talk about these things, it's not as exciting. So I'm going to make you guys listen for the next 5 minutes about how the industry is changing in my effort to just help you guys make sure that you can make as much money over these next 2 years, right? And that you can create, serious opportunities for yourselves. Okay. I made this joke of a video yesterday. God damn it, Victoria. I made this joke of a video yesterday. Did you guys see it when I was fucking around with the virtual assistant and I kept connect me to an agent, connect me to an agent? You guys let me know in the chat if you guys saw that video. It took me a whole 10 minutes to edit that thing. Okay. If you didn't, it's fine. If you didn't, it was me showcasing that, when you call your bank or you call the airlines to change your flight, you know how they dick you around with the virtual assistant for 20 minutes? I don't know about you guys, but I press 0 the whole time. It just pisses me off. The reason I share that is because when I say AI is going to replace salespeople and people tell me no, it's not, that's because that's what they think about. That's their reference point. And that is not how it's going to work. People aren't going to get on Zoom calls with a pretend AI agent, with a fake face, right? Like there's going to be multiple pieces of the buying journey that AI will improve, which will mean that there is less need for what I call human redundancy, or in our space, mediocre salespeople that cost the business more than they actually make it. Okay. So there is, for the newbies, this might, just bear with me, just be open-minded for a second. This is how the high ticket or the info product space works. This is really applies to almost all digital services. There's a top of funnel, usually an ad, right? There's an ad or it's organic, right? That leads people into someone's, let's say, middle of funnel, some community to follow on Instagram, to follow on TikTok, right? So we'll just call this the funnel. So there's the top of funnel, right? It's just ads, goes into the funnel. From here, there's either an outbound setter or there's like some conversion event, like a webinar, right? And then from here, there's a sales call with maybe a triaging process. Okay, you guys with me? Let me know in the chat.
Yes.
This is how. Thank you, Cesar. This is how our industry works. Okay. In multiple parts of this funnel, this is a very basic one. There's a human. There's a human here. There's humans here. There's a human here. There's a human here. Right? What is the most important metric when it comes to outbound setting? Someone come off mute and tell me. The most important thing when it comes to outbound setting. Lindsay, you're cheating. I've trained you too well. It is speed to lead. With setting, and I trained some badass fucking setters, okay? Because I started as one. Skill is important to maintain people on the phone and to qualify people from going from like a window shopper to someone who has intent for your closer. But that is not as important as your speed to lead. If you can contact a lead that came from an ad to your funnel within 0 to 3 minutes, the likelihood of them buying is astronomically more. Okay? Why? Because the emotion that triggered them to respond to an ad and to register for a funnel is still present. After 5 to 15 minutes, that emotion is pretty much gone. Think about how much marketing we get bombarded with every single hour. What AI will do, it will have impeccable, and these are things that are already, these things are already present. I'm actually testing some of these as we speak. These are AI agents. It doesn't matter if they're as good as the best setter, because they're going to be targeting and reaching out to your leads in 3 minutes. Okay, so they're capitalizing on speed to lead. What does that mean? Instead of a team needing 5 outbound setters, they're just going to need 1 or 2. 1 or 2 that know how to like reset criteria, that know how to improve the actual training of the AI agent. And so that's 3 to 4 people replaced. Before I continue, can I share a story with you guys? Oh no, I pressed the red button. Fuck, I have to do that all over again. Can I share a story with you guys? Yes? Okay. I got into this industry, like I shared, 6 years ago. The business coaches, the giant influencers, not all of them, but many of them that were making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month no longer have sales teams. Okay. Jeremy Pogue, Taki Moore, these are great business coaches that had teams of 5 salespeople bringing in $500,000 to $1 million a month. Sometimes these teams were often a lot bigger. They no longer have sales teams. Why? Because the bloat with the expense rise just didn't make sense anymore. To maintain those levels of revenue, you needed 10 closers. To keep 10 closers fed, right, you needed setters. To make sure that you didn't have people leaving all the time, you needed to up your ad spend so you keep your calendars full. To make sure that your business reputation doesn't go down to the gutter and your fulfillment is good, you need more CSMs and more back-end coaches. To manage a team of 15 salespeople, you now need a sales manager with a $15,000 base salary. So even though on paper they were making $500,000 to $1 million a month, revenue shrunk, or sorry, profit margin shrunk. And all of a sudden you have these founders who built these remote businesses for financial freedom, who have now 30-person teams, and by extension, their families to keep fed. The amount of responsibility for the amount of shrinking profit margin just no longer made sense. So a lot of these business coaches completely shut down or just revamped their businesses by improving their funnel and having 1 to 3 salespeople. Okay. The reason I share that is because I'm a firm believer. That was, by the way, before AI. That was maybe a year or two ago, before AI is like the capabilities of it now. The next 2 to 3 years, if I was a betting man, I'd be betting on this. We will have more info products, more info e-learning businesses, coaching businesses, what we call it, continue to grow. This industry is not going to slow down. But the requirement for salespeople will be a lot higher because you'll need a lot less of them. You guys with me on that? Does that make sense? Okay. I share that because when you have skill and you are thinking beyond just this call on your calendar, you will solve problems. So I'll keep going here. See if I can get this bad boy back. And be back. Okay. Webinars. What a good setter will do now is that will help your webinar get more people to show up. Pre-calling the people that sign up, booking them on sales calls. That will be replaced by AI. So instead of needing 3 DM setters, you have 1. Are AI agents as good as DM setters? Not yet. Especially not the ones I train. We train some really good fucking DM setters. But they work, 5 hours a day, maybe? They sleep, they have personal lives. Weekends they take off because you want to treat your salespeople like humans. AI doesn't. The speed to lead is impeccable. Even if it is right now garbage, the advancement of technology over 3 months is just going to it's going to be so different in 90 days. Triaging. By the way, when I was on one account, it was a webinar account. So if I would open my calendar tomorrow, it would get full by midnight. They were spending tons of money on ads. So it was a high volume account. So you had to stay on the team, you need to have a minimum of 35 call slots open. To maximize my income there, I hired my own VA. It's like $8 an hour. This chick from the Philippines, pretty good English. Okay. So instead of me needing to confirm my calls and triage my own calls, she did that. Okay. And she was like, decent, I guess. No better or worse than what an AI agent can do now for call confirmation and triaging. That's another role, which triagers, by the way, on good accounts can make killer money. You're talking 8 to 12K if you're a machine of a triager. Those are roles that, like, as a business owner, you no longer need to spend that money on human capital when an AI agent costs you $200 a month. And what does that all mean for closing? Closing isn't going away anytime soon, especially if you're good. But if you think about all the improvements that are happening throughout the funnel, instead of needing 12 sales reps to have all their calendars open, you have all these things improving show rate and improving qualifications, right? So you're not wasting your salespeople, especially your top producers, talking to FDQs. You don't need 12. You need 3. If you need 3, you don't need a sales manager typically. Or if you do, you just have a fractional sales manager that's paid on performance instead of full-time sales manager who gets paid a $15,000 base. per month. You need 3. So we're not replacing sales reps completely, but a sales rep that knows how to prompt and improve its triager, this is going to get messy, that knows how to leverage AI to like automate their follow-ups. I was playing with something last night. It's called Gamma. My students use it for different things. Within 30 seconds, I created a custom proposal for a consulting deal that I'm working. 30 seconds. AI will be able to do that based on the information that the lead puts in throughout the funnel. So sales reps will be talking to people that have customized pre-call resources sent to them, increasing intent and authority. So while there will still need a good salesperson there to make sure they don't drop the ball, again, we no longer need 12, 15-person sales teams. And guess what happens after that? All this data from the winning sales calls gets fed right into Meta, and the ads improve, and so on and so forth with the funnel. A lot of this doesn't apply to you guys right now. Okay. After my 3rd year in sales, I stepped into growth operating and I really enjoyed it. I love selling. Selling changed my life. But if you allow yourself to look at higher leverage opportunities, you can use your sales skills for different things. And if you can understand this, then you can start realizing that if you're not actively not only getting better with things like reframing and becoming a total savage, like making a name for yourself on different accounts, making sure that you have a network, making sure that if your account, they replace the sales team with like some prototype AI that you can jump on an account tomorrow. Like if you're not doing that right now, the next 2 years are going to be very difficult. In addition to that, like it's not either or, it's both and leveraging AI. Mason Church, if you guys know him, he's a coach in my program. He consults on 2 accounts. He uses AI for 80% of his stuff, for figuring out data trends, or figuring out where the show rate is going on. And so one person can now manage multiple accounts. And so these businesses don't need in-house people as much. So I share that because for you guys have the AI bot. That's one example. You guys can connect your Claude or your chat. You can connect it to Fathom if you haven't already. And it will take 10 seconds to create a script that at the end of the day, chat is going through your calls and figuring out exactly why people didn't close. You do that on a new account, you can figure out, well, what pre-call resources can the influencer make? So I'm talking to people that actually know what the fuck we do, if you're talking to people that are very cold. A lot of my students have created AI trackers, right? One of my students actually created a whole business where she sells AI in an AI tracker. That way, at the end of the week, you have Claude already syncing and going through all your calls, uploading your numbers, so you know exactly what your performance is, and you know exactly what your gap is, and you either come to me or your coach or your sales manager, and you know exactly what to work on. So your feedback loop from action to improvement much shorter, which means you progress faster, you make more money. That's how AI replaces salespeople. It's not by one-on-one having humans talk to an AI robot. It's by upskilling the good reps and by improving the process so mediocre reps there's just no need. Because if you're not a top producer, you cost a business more money than you make them. It's just business 101. That's what I got for you guys today. I think I finished right on time. We'll go into some Q&A. But first, we'll go into some takeaways. See if I fire hose you, if you guys actually learned something. I will say, for those of you guys that resonate with what I say, with like kind of what I teach, you are looking for more hands-on support with actual sales training and the application of AI. All my students have access to the bots that I build. Just DM me on Instagram, DM me on school, just DM me training, I guess. Training or cafe, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We'll walk you guys through kind of what we do on the inside. Other than that, what were you guys' biggest takeaways from today? Very
If you
good, man.
have if you have the skill to give responsibility to the lead, then you can challenge them better.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Very good, Deepak. Don't chase the surface level shit. You're buying into their frame. There was this one moment, guys, like it was like the fifth fucking single mom on this one offer, and she's like, "Oh, it's just like single mom stuff. Like, you probably wouldn't get it." And I was like sick of just buying into their shit. I'm like, dude, you either do it for your kids or you don't do it because of them. But like only one of those is going to change your situation. And like I was expecting her to hang up on me. She's like, no one's ever actually said that to me.
That's good.
I was borderline pissed off, and I was like, all right, shit, man, maybe we have a sale here. So it's like when we accept those, when we start battling the external, right? We're buying into their frame and they can just worm their way away because it's not a real thing. Jason, top performers will be in the game. The rest replaced by AI. Yes, sir. Oh, I forgot to add this in the beginning, guys. Like with the whole Bitcoin thing, right? The people that were like telling me, oh no, Bitcoin won't work, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Bitcoin won't be widely adopted. I live in Colombia now. There is a Bitcoin ATM at every money transfer station. It's gonna be the same shit with AI, except this actually replaces humans. You have Miriam?
You can use crypto to buy our offer.
You can use crypto to buy mine too. Bitcoin ATM, which by the way, that was I got offered a job to sell Bitcoin ATMs like probably like 7 years ago before high ticket. But I decided to get into this first because I was like, I think I should learn how to sell before I start selling that. Cool. Very good, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Raise your little hand, your little virtual hand. Come off mute. Let's help you guys out. What's up, Abigail? Good to meet. How can I help?
Hi. Thanks for having this and inviting me today. I am new to high ticket, and so I have not closed a sale yet.
Okay.
So like this was really helpful and also a little bit like, oh my goodness, I haven't even gotten my feet wet, you know. But like what would be your first action items for someone who is like just starting and doesn't have like the experience
Okay.
or the skill set?
Yeah, great question. Have you taken calls?
I've taken, I would say 10 calls on
Cool.
one offer, but that offer I was closing for, and now I'm moving into a setter role for a different offer.
Okay. Well, there's two opportunities here. With those 10 calls that you took, how many did you close?
None.
None. What was the reason people didn't buy?
I would say like three of them were very unqualified.
Okay.
And then the others, I just froze up and I wasn't willing to be blunt. I was
Okay.
like, I just fumbled.
Okay, cool. So someone in your situation, right? Like there's multiple things. Like what do we focus on first?
Yeah.
Right. We could go straight into objections, but if you're going to be setting now, like focusing on objection isn't going to help you because as a setter, you really don't want to be objection handling people because then they're going to no show the closer because they're going to be like, I'm not going to get on this next call to get tried for an hour. Right. So normally I would say objections are good low hanging fruit for reps because at least you have some script on most offers. But if you're going into setting, what I would say is this is an opportunity for you to really get dialed with your connecting and situation. Like your first few calls should be a question should be crisp. Hey, I just saw you sign up for a newsletter. Just had a few minutes to reach out here. What was it that made you want to sign up? Because we have a ton of resources I can send over. And if you can start practicing this in a way that when you start closing again, what you're really doing is having hundreds of the beginning of your closing call. So by the time you start closing, you've already done that like hundreds of times and you're more confident.
Okay.
Setting is a great opportunity for that. Does that make sense?
So yeah, and then like in the meantime, just keep doing role plays with like I have the script for the closer for the offer that I'm on, so I've just been practicing that with like the intention that I'm going to become a closer.
Yes, I would be role playing that. Is there another closer on the offer?
Yes.
Do you have access to their calls?
I asked for it.
Cool. I would take some of their calls and the whole theme of AI, I would run it through an AI prompt. This is what I do with some of my reps when they're new. I'm like, is there another closer on the offer? Let's find out what they're doing well.
Okay.
Run 5 of their calls through an AI prompt and figure out what are the 3 common things they're doing on every call. Because the top closer on an offer is typically figured out something about that avatar.
Right, right. Yeah. And I think like one of the takeaways that I'm taking away from this call is um how you talk to like women being people pleasers and um specifically having a hard time handling men who are older than them. Like I have that issue in my personal life.
Mm,
Nevertheless, like on an offer and the avatar is men that are typically older than me. And
mm,
so um that is like a huge takeaway for me to even just get more comfortable with so that I'm not like blindsided by it.
yeah. The universe is giving you exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Yeah, this is great. Like one of my students, Demena, she's like 20 years old and she sells, I don't know what she's selling now, but she was selling like real estate investing to guys way older than her. So one of the things we trained was like I'd mentioned before, so when you start a call, you want to be sharp. You don't want to waste time on rapport. You almost like want to give the tone. Like I would personally have like a pen and I'd be like clicking your pen. Or what I used to do when I sold on one account is I would like start the Zoom call on purposely on my phone. Like, hey, what's up, man? Give me 1 second. All right, just a little bit back to back. You still good for the 45? Awesome. How can I help? It was just to show that status. And that's something you can do to help you like just maintain that with, until you get really comfortable challenging the old farts.
It is so funny because I've been having men ask me out. I'm single and I like struggle when I have 75-year-old men asking me out. Like I literally have to practice saying like, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I coach a lot of ladies and like coaching you guys, like I see how much shit y'all got to put up with. A lot of guys, and it's usually the fucking broke ass sales guys. They're like, oh yeah, women have it easier. Dude, when's the last time a 70-year-old hit on you? You know? So respects to you ladies. Marissa, how can I help? Unmute you? I don't know if I can do that.
I
Oh, you came, you went. You're still muted. I'll give you 5 seconds. There you go.
Okay, am I staying unmuted? Okay, perfect. Okay, I need you to give me a pointer on how to use my time more wisely because
Okay.
thing is I'm like probing and then my client is not giving me what I want
Okay.
and I feel like there's some way that I can cut it down. Maybe I'm asking useless questions. I don't know.
Yeah. Um,
How do I know if it's a useless question?
what I would do, and we'll work on this on the next like group call since you're in the community now. Um, I want you to take your script. Oh, Lindsay, Lindsay has been trained by me. So listen to what she says. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So you've been trained. The what's the expression? The Padawan becomes the master here. Yeah, go through your script, print it out, and next to each question, write out what responses are you looking for? What's an acceptable response for these questions? If those responses do not move the call, do not move the prospect towards a buying decision, remove it. But before you remove it, just do the first exercise, then come to one of our group calls, and then we'll go through it together and I'll tell you what we take off and what we keep.
Okay, but I go off script all the time.
Cool. So then, but we still need to know, like, if you're going off script, like, what is it that we're looking for? In the questions you ask, what is it that we're looking for? So for you, we need to come back to the basics a little bit right now. just so you know what's a fluff question, what's a question that moves a convo. So if you go off script, then you know, cool, I'm not going to ask that because I'm just going to go on a tangent for 2 hours. I need to ask what's going to agitate or find the real problem. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Deepak, what's up, bro?
I have two questions. Okay.
Yeah, man.
The first one is the one of the as in when I get into objection handling at the end of the call, it feels like I'm having like a one-to-one battle. Yeah, rather than being on the same side and challenging the situation,
Cool.
rather than challenging the prospect. So I want to understand how can I not sound salesy?
Sure. I gotcha. What objection do you battle with the most?
So mostly with so on the current fitness offer that I'm on is basically with the women that they want to
Okay.
talk to their husband and all that kind of jazz that comes along with it.
Okay.
And then they come, well, I still have to talk to my husband. We don't take these decisions like lightly.
Okay. I'm gonna give that to you. I'll be nice and I want to see how you do it, and then I'll give you some feedback and I'll show you how I would do it. Cool?
Cool.
Sweet, man. Yeah, I mean, this all sounds great. Just want to talk to the hubby first.
Absolutely. I totally understand that. And I appreciate that you are one of those people that would like to take it to your husband first. But keeping that aside right now, what we have discussed so far, do you think that will help you reach your XYZ goal?
Yeah, it all sounds good.
All right, perfect. So what specifically do you think is going to help you?
Yeah, I feel like needing the accountability and the roadmap is exactly what I don't have right now.
Well, amazing. And what would that do for you personally?
Hopefully lose more weight.
Oh, great. Well, and that totally makes sense. And now I just want to understand, have you had these discussions with your husband before while making certain decisions?
Not really. That's why I want to go talk to him.
I know, I get it. But do you think he would be against you when you want to, he understands where you are currently, right?
Yeah, he does for sure.
So would he be against you in taking this step towards your own health, reaching those goals and XYZ?
I don't think he'd be against it. He'd be kind of a dick if he was, but
Yeah.
it's still something I need to run by him.
And I appreciate it. So can I challenge you though?
I guess, yeah, sure.
Great. So you are actually looking for accountability, ownership, and all that kind of stuff. Wherein what I'm sensing right now that you are looking that from your husband.
Say that again.
So right now you understand that you need accountability, ownership to help yourself, right?
Yeah.
But in your current situation, then you're still going out to your husband to finding those as in comforting moments. So where do you think that is going to place you?
I kind of a little lost with your question. I mean, I don't know. I guess like where I am. Okay, cool. We can pause there. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you guys letting me put you on the spot. That's how you guys learn. I think it might be more beneficial if I just give you feedback instead of running it. Because you have some good foundation. You do your double tie down. When you're dealing with the spouse objection, make it really clear. Yeah, no stress if you need to talk to your partner, but like you personally, because this is your journey. Do you feel like this is what you're looking for? Do you feel like this can actually be what you need or the answer for whatever you say? Make it just like fucking partner aside, you. So why do you though? Okay. I liked your third question. Like, what would that do for you personally? And I threw something at you to see if you would catch it. I was like, yeah, hopefully lose weight.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I missed that, yeah.
I'm giving you something just because if that's coming up, it's really more certainty or uncertainty than fear of that partner. Okay. Now, you asked like, when you've gone to your partner, what I like to do is like just diffuse a little bit first if you're feeling tension. So just so I'm not being like rude, what's your partner's name? Okay, and like we're not here to like, we're not here to add to the divorce rates in the US, right? Or we're not here to get you kicked out of the house, or we're not whatever, like some stupid cheesy line. It's just to diffuse tension. That's what I don't think she's here, but Megan does it really well. She's like, well, I'm not here to add to the rising divorce rates in the US. What's your partner's name? What's your husband? I want to be respectful. John? Cool. Do you think if John was here, heard everything we talked about, he'd be 2 thumbs up, jump in, or he'd be like, no, it's the worst thing ever. I don't know. I want to go talk to him. We have to go into the past because otherwise we give them an out. So it's like, yeah, no stress. And like, have you kind of shared with John everything you shared me about how this is actually impacting you? Or is this something you've kind of more kept quiet just outside the relationship? No, he knows. Okay. And when you've looked at things like this in the past, what's maybe prevented him from really supporting you and going all the way through or jumping in or solving this? What I'm looking for here is money. It's usually the investment. Gotcha. So, but you feel like this is the right thing for you. Okay. And so I guess, is it just a matter of getting his permission to invest? Or just you're like looking for a little bit of his blessing to make sure this is the right thing? So I'm just separating it: first money and then logistical or fear. Make sense?
Yes.
The big thing for you is going into the past.
Okay.
If you go future, I don't know. That's why I want to talk to him. Yeah, but in the past, what's prevented him? Well, usually money, or usually like he's a little bit skeptical of these things because we got scammed once. Now you feel objection. Now, the last thing I'll say, if you're getting tension, humor, like it was an example, I also personally, my selling style, I like to do, like at the end of the day, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I do these small pushaways. That's my personal style. I mean, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but like, do you feel like he would actually be on board? Okay, and if he's on board and you go and talk to him and you tell him, hey, this company can finally help me lose this weight. It's a $3,000 investment. And he says, no, don't do it. What are you going to do then? So that's how you can get like really nail the hammer, sink the nail in the coffin with responsibility after that. Cool. Oftentimes, like partner objections are just smoke screens for money fear because it's easier to deflect to someone who isn't there. I will say though, selling to women is a little different in the cases that their partners are the breadwinners. And in that case, just go for a deposit for the follow-up.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, and the next question I have is that I'm still trying to find my selling style.
Okay.
So the thing is that I think I've read a few books in terms of like Jeremy Meyer, Bill Walsh, and
Yep.
As in a few of them right now. So there is so much information right now. So how do I find my feed? As in what do you think how can I figure it out what resonates with me as my personality type, my selling style?
Are you an analyzer type of guy?
A little bit, yeah. I'm a banker by profession.
Yeah, I can tell. So my response to you is gonna, we're in research mode. You just got to pick one methodology and jump in and do it for 2 to 3 months. There's no way around it, unfortunately. You'll find some will work for you and some actually won't. But it's like what we tell our clients, right? Until you do, you're not going to know. I did Jeremy Miner's program. I really liked it. Worked really well for me. I did Bill Walsh's program. Also worked really well for me. One of my friends went through Bill Walsh's program, and it was actually too combative for his style, and his performance went down. It worked really well for me because I'm a direct person. But the only way you know is by actually trying. And what I would recommend is whichever one you pick, whether it's me, whether it's another coach, just pick one and stick to it for at least 3 to 6 months. You need some data because there's so much nuances to a certain style. But the only way you're going to know, brother, is just picking one and just jumping in.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Alfredo, dímelo.
Hey, what's up, Andres?
How are we doing?
You're gonna meet with my coach, Eduardo, later?
Yeah, he's your coach, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting dinner tonight.
Yeah, so enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
man.
my question will be, what was the last thing that you bought or some salesperson sold to you? And what did the salesperson did? Because I mean, you've been in sales in high ticket for 5, 6 years,
Yeah,
so
dude.
it's probably it's not easy to sell you
Unfortunately,
something.
unfortunately, like I've been wanting to get fucking objection handled, and like I'm just too easy to say to sell to. I actually buy a lot of my high ticket programs in the DMs. Like the last program, well, actually, you know, my girlfriend Andrea. Like I just texted Eduardo. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pay for Andrea's sales training. Like, how much is it? I have my card ready.
Yeah.
Or the my business coach that I hired. I mean, I got on a call with him, but I was like, he like pitched me. I'm like, cool, I'm ready to buy. He's like, great, I'll send you an invoice. I was like, no, but I want to buy like right now. He's like, nah, it's fine. I'll send you. So I've and then I was in like a pretty I went to like this mastermind. It was like $6,000 for the weekend. Same thing. Like I got on the phone and I'm like, yep, like I think this would be really good for my connections. He's like, cool, you got any questions, any reservations? I was like, no, man, I'm ready to go. It was like minute 8 of the call. So unfortunately, for the last couple of years, I've just been a total laydown. But I do remember 2 sales calls that changed my life. Okay. One of them was that got me started in this. It wasn't directly for sales, it was leadership coaching. A friend of mine called me and I was like in the van that I showed in the beginning, that piece of shit. I was like sitting in the van, had no money, and he called me and he was just like reframing all these beliefs. And I joined this program that I had no money for. And that program was all about leadership, communication, emotional intelligence. And I was so grateful for him. Like he got me to give someone $500. So you saw my account. Like I didn't really have a lot of money. So I could borrow their credit card so I could do it. And when I got into sales a few months after, dude, I would smoke the money objection. Because when people try to give me that, I'm like, fuck that. I've actually had no money. Fuck you. Like you're buying, right? Then the second call was with Mason, who's a coach in my program and a very good friend of mine. He used to sell for Jeremy Miner. He sold me into that program. He had joined the program, his commissions tripled, and then he started selling for Jeremy. And so I was like, fuck, man, like you're making more money than I am. I was like doing well. I was doing like 12K a month, but I'm like, no, man, I want to make 20, 30. And that call I really remember because I got on like friendly. I was like, hey, man, I know you're my friend. Like, I'm ready to buy. He's like, yeah, tough shit, dude. I'm going to challenge you as if you were a prospect because I want you to really take this program seriously. It wasn't just, I know you're going to buy. It was, I want you to take this program seriously because I actually care about you. And and he fucking hammered me on the consequence section of that call, which was great. So those were the 2 that I remember, and I appreciate you asking. And ever since then, I've just been a complete laydown. You know.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. But the reason why I'm asking you this is because I was a Marine. So, dude, you have to do all the things that you don't want to do, like
Yeah.
like every damn day. So
Yep.
it's like I have no objections. It's like no one will force me to do anything that I don't want to,
Yeah.
and nobody will like I don't need like someone to tell me what to do. It's like if I want to do this, I'm gonna do it. That's it. Period. So that's why I want to know, like, because after 5, 6 years in sales, it's like you don't buy anything that you don't want to buy.
Correct. Yeah. I don't believe that either. I don't believe you should be getting people to buy things that they don't want to buy. That to me is unethical. That means you just didn't do your job in the discovery. Right. And that's why with my objection handling style, I always remind, and it's my diffusion tactic. It's like, hey man, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Do you actually want our help? So let's figure this out together. I'm on your team. If they tell me no, I don't want to do this. Okay. And just so I understand, so I can get better and we as a company can improve. Why is it that you don't? Why is it that you're so closed off? Oh, this is the last thing I would do. I thought this call was about blank. I'm looking for blank. I'm completely in the wrong place. All right, cool, man. Best of luck. So, objection handling isn't to get people to do something like to ethically, or isn't to like strong on people into buying things they don't want because they'll refund anyway. So, there you
Okay.
go.
Thank you, Andres.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't help you the way that you needed. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Muriel. Nicole, how can
Hey
I help?
again.
Welcome
All
back.
right, so I have a question that's also for you, like in terms of you, what's the most important thing right now for you in your sales career, where you're at right now?
Oh, well, that's a great question. Well, I run the for closers community, so we do sales training, I do recruiting, and I do sales consulting, um, which all pay me very, very well. So, we're just doing the thing. We're growing our community, we're taking on more clients, we're in a position that we're really fortunate, like with recruiting and consulting. I actually turn away more business than I take on because my goal is just to keep operating at a level where I can give my clients like the best version of me, where I'm not burned out and I'm recharged, but also that I have the financial means to take care of my family without working 100 hours a week. So yeah, good question.
Great, thanks for sharing that. I mean, I have a friend of mine. Her name is Sophie. She just traveled from Europe to see you in Medellin, and she's been in Colombia for like a few
Sophie
months now.
Evers.
Yes, she's the one. And I'm gonna meet her just a few in the days in the future. I'm in Colombia. I live in Bogota.
No
And it
shit.
it seems like you really enjoy things, and I am in a place. I have been in sales for like quite some time already, maybe 6 years already as well. I have trained teams, I've done a lot of stuff, and I love the fact that I'm always growing. I'm doing well, but I
Mm-hmm.
want to grow more. So that the reason why I was asking you that is because I wanted to get to the next point, which is when did you feel like, okay, this is the time for me to level up and I'm not being only closer, but I'm opening this consulting thing and I don't feel like I'm there yet, even when I have already trained some teams, I want to make sure
Yeah.
that I can also polish my things even better and break through like 20K months and everything. Um, but yeah, like I want to hear it from you because it seems like you really enjoy things and I am not under the hustle culture like too much.
Mm.
So yeah, just
Well, why do you feel like you're not ready yet?
I don't know. Like sometimes I'm more like I have got asked to train people and I have got asked like to do some things and get offers, which I love, but sometimes I'm more down the line of not sure what's that point, Like I know that some people says like you're never ready, you just do it. But yeah, maybe I also want to know a little bit more of like what you do. I didn't ask Soph like how does that work, but maybe
Yeah.
getting into a little clarity onto how is that next step looking like.
Yeah, so what I do is like I do sales consulting, or occasionally I'll train like a small sales team. I do recruiting, which I'm very, very selective on the clients I take on because as you guys have probably experienced, there's a lot of shit offers out there, and I don't want to be placing salespeople on them because I've been I've been in the trenches with you guys. And then we do sales training for closers in the cafe community. So I have like three things that I do. Um, there's two sides to your question. One is like the mental, when is it time? Like it's entrepreneurship. There isn't a right time, but there is steps that will validate what you're doing. My experience doesn't have to be yours. I was still closing when I was taking on my first few recruiting deals. And back then, it was because they were in my network. And the first thing I said in the presentation was my identity is that of an entrepreneur that can sell, not just a salesperson. So by subscribing to that, like it just in the networking events, in the circle, all of a sudden I'd be at a networking event. And so, oh, what do you do? Oh, I do this. I'm a closer. Oh, dude, do you have any closers? First, I was doing it for free. Oh yeah, I was trying to hook up my friends. But then I'm like, fuck, this is a lot of time. but they kept coming up because of the circles I was in, because of where I was putting myself. So I started charging $2,000 and people were paying it, right? My biggest recruiting deal personally, I closed $24,000 to place 5 reps. It was like 15 hours of work. I was shaking when I told the person, yeah, it's 24 grand. Fuck, please don't say no. I was like, yeah, easy. Like, okay, sweet. Validated. But I worked my way up. Right now we charge anywhere from 6 to 8K for a rep, right? But so there was like, you're not ready, but like to build the confidence, you just charge less when the opportunities come up. But typically the universe is like putting things in your path when it wants you to take the leap. And it was the same thing for me with coaching, by the way. Like I never set out to be a sales coach, right? I didn't like, there's a lot of these younger coaches that their whole reason to have 110K month is so they can document it and then become a sales coach. I never wanted to do that. I was making really good money with barely any social media traveling. And it was when my first sales rep reached out and she was like, hey, do you do coaching? I was like, yeah, I guess I'll take you on. Sure. I was still closing. And then she ended up referring, Lindsay was one of them, 5 of her friends that all hired me. And that month I was like, dude, I got to stop fighting this. And so that's when I decided like there's people really resonate with me, my training style. Like if I just put more of my work out there, I could probably help more people. So that's how Cafe started as well. So like, and then by the way, like what I used to charge back then for those clients, very different than what we charge now because our product has gotten better. Like we have so much more we've built out to it, but you like build up to it. So I hope that
Yeah.
answers your question. That's just my personal experience of how I went about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, I don't know if you have closers that takes your calls. I'm not sure if that's something that we can like talk directly. I would love to kind of talk with you if possible.
Yeah, Lindsay takes all my sales calls.
Okay, well then love to talk to Lindsay.
Yeah, she's a dog. She's like a very, very well trained rep. But yeah, feel free to just chat with me. All
Great.
right, Pearl, how you doing?
Hi, Andres. Hi, everybody. Well, my question to you is, I recently like joined a new offer, and the sales director has a lot of sales years under his belt, and he's also
Cool.
been
Great.
training people, and he has his own selling style. And I have like my own, and I have like people that I admire, and like I had, plans to get like more training with um uh like a new coach, things like that. And under this new training, it just feels like it's new. It's very different, and he wants us to do it that way. So my question is, how would you kind of recommend someone to balance, what your sales director is telling you to do, and also like, well, yeah, getting extra training like, outside of
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. That's a great question for a lot of newer reps. It's like, how do we follow the process that the person who's in charge of like firing us if we don't perform wants us to do, but also find things that work for our own flavor and the things that we want to learn from the people that have done what we want to do. Yeah, a lot of the reps that I train like come to me with those questions, and I'm not a coach that will tell you, no, don't listen to them, follow me, because that's how you get fired when you're new, right? If you have tenure and a track record, like yeah, then it's easier to do whatever you want. Then people won't micromanage you. But in the beginning, what I say is like first follow typically what your sales director, sales manager is doing because you're new. Okay, write out the script, but what you want to be looking for is in the script, where do you probe and amplify, define, reframe, and ask questions in between the scripted questions or in the framework that your manager has given you. This is how 2 reps can be on the same script, but one can perform vastly better. Is if your scripted questions are like, hey, what's your goal? Why is that the goal? Right? How long has that been the goal? Why now? Like, let's say that's a script they gave you. In between each question, I'm asking 2 or 3 why, or what do you mean, or what's underneath that. Yep, my goal is to make 10K a month, right? I don't move on. 10K? Why 10K? That number is really specific. That's like 120K a year. Why is that? So in between the scripted questions, can you probe, amplify, agitate, or define what your prospect is saying 2 or 3 layers deeper? That way, your prospect is giving you more weight to your questions, but you're still following the process that your manager or your director wants you to follow. To answer your question?
It does. It does. Thanks.
Yeah. And then I would be practicing objection handling, because most offers don't really have a lot of training for objection handling, or if they do, it's very generic. So those are the things you want to get good with. So you can, because if you're following like a mediocre script, you're going to objection handle more often. That will allow you to put up numbers on the board. As you put up more numbers on the board, then you can talk to your manager, like, hey, is it cool if I deviate from the script? I find like these questions don't work for my selling style. And if you have numbers to back you up, then they'll more likely be, yeah, sure, go for it. Not every
Yeah.
manager. Some managers will want uniformity.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you get your shot.
yeah, with this offer, like the biggest thing I would say is that they really do want you to like act as like a have a professional frame. I forgot the word that he uses, but like give out statistics in the call, like tell the prospect about like, yeah, basically act as if you are a financial advisor, essentially.
Yeah, you can like put on that frame without necessarily being a product expert. And it's just going to come through your questions. And then when people ask you, so Pearl, like, are you a financial advisor? You just have to know how to put it back on them, so you don't get caught up in that. Cool.
Yeah,
Good
got
question.
you. Thank you.
All right, Jason, we'll go with you next. If you guys are looking for more hands-on training, DM me on Instagram or school. Just DM me training. We'll chat, or you can chat to Lindsay, who's gone through a bunch of programs before she hired me. Get her honest take of the industry. Jason, 60 seconds, bro, because I got a call at the top of the hour.
Yeah, no worries, brother. So I have a question, man, about what you mentioned earlier about we have like 18 months left or like 2 years. Like, what do you mean by that? Like as closers or as top sales reps, basically?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the whole idea of like replacing human redundancy.
Mhm.
Technology just advances so quick. If we look at the capabilities of AI just over the last 6 months, it's almost night and day. And so, I invest in a lot of 7-figure masterminds now to be around other offer owners and business owners, and the applications that they're already testing AI for is just going to continue to reduce need for bloated teams, CSMs, salespeople. So I was talking with like in a mastermind, and like 18 to 24 months seems like very generous to say, like there will be massive like job displacements, not just in our industry, just in general. It might be longer, but I want to act as if it's 18 months, because that's going to light the urgency under my ass.
Absolutely, yeah. Makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Gracias.
All right, guys, y'all learn something? Y'all gonna go make some money?
Oh yeah.
Gonna go on a generational run,
Of
or what?
course.
Let's go make some money. All right, guys. I'll see you guys next time. I'm
Thanks,
gonna jump to a
guys.
call. You're
Yeah.
welcome, Pearl. Good seeing you. Bye, Miriam. Bye,
Bye.
Nicole. Later, Alfredo. Peace.
Andres.